True. Coverage of tonight's race, of course, as presented by Asphalt Racing Network, with a prime sponsorship from Decals, Paint, and Photo Shops, and of course, Young Hit a Collectible for all your new and old action and Lionel racing needs on whatnot. Be sure to check me out. Welcome, everybody, to another week here. Well, that just kind of showed everybody. Yes, we don't like to do that here. Welcome, everybody, to another day for the Truck Series at Kansas. Fisher Studios Truck Series, that is, takes on Kansas in a doubleheader. Truck Series will be here tonight. And, of course, we'll have the Cup Series here tomorrow as well. Lone qualifying starting now. That's what you're seeing these drivers do on the track. So we still have just a few short minutes before we go green. As always, my name is Tyler Jones, a.k.a. Young Hitta from Young Hitta Collectibles. And once again, I have an illiterate friend of mine. No, I'm kidding. I have a good buddy of mine up here in the booth tonight. Again, good old Kenny Schwartz.
How you doing tonight?
Look, man, I don't know what it is. I've been giving everybody that's been in the booth with me hell this week. It's been enjoyable. But you'll have enough time to get back to me, or back at me. There's enough time, enough mess ups I do anyway, so, there's always an opportunity to get me back. Looking right now, a lot of guys here returning, as always. Peter Hoppy on the track, Lucas Lewis, Corey Rainey with his qualifying time, finishing right now, Owen Lax. Jordan Fisher as a full-time competitor, Nicholas Will, it's a new name. James Mandarood coming back for another week, Stinson, Ryder, Brendan Carroll, Stephen Hayes. As of right now, Pete Dillon, and Chris Melton have not put times down, so they might have registered for the race, but have not been able to make the race. That is the case. We will have just a 17 to 16 car field if the 82 of Stephen Hayes doesn't join us either. So right now we have a lot of good numbers, I would say. Still, of course, good numbers here for a high anticipated track tonight. Kansas being the home of Fisher Studios. So Jordan Fisher himself looking to possibly try to go for the sweep here this weekend. Of course, he has a lot to do to get that sweep. Of course, Parker Motorsports is finding more consistent speed on the 1.5 mile tracks. But how long will that last for them? Of course, looking forward, I mean, as of right now, I believe we've had, 3 Ram winners? I mean, it seems, honestly, Ram might have taken over the Chevrolet spot and could be the official truck to beat. I mean, right now we have Owen Lax here tonight in a Ram, Nicholas Will in a Ram, Corey Rainey in a Ram, only 3 on the field. And yet they have been doing marvelous the last few weeks consistently. Now, of course, Truck Series a little bit different than the Cup side. I feel like Toyotas are a dominant manufacturer here. 8 Toyotas on the field tonight, which means there's about 5 Chevys, 3 lone Fords. Looking at it right now, can Ford and Toyota really find their way back to the top, including Victory Lane as well? I mean, we've seen a few teams jump off of the Ford and Toyota train and go to the Ram side, but not many have actually made that venture over to Dodge. So you've got to wonder with the consistency of the Ram so far here in the Truck Series, will we possibly see more drivers take that step over next season? Now, drivers currently still in warm-ups right now. Looking at the tower, we got about 7 minutes, roughly 7 minutes left in warm-ups before we go green. And it is going to be a fun one. Like I said, we have a lot of guys here that have not got a win yet. The only people at this point in time to claim a win on the Truck Series is Fisher, but that was a as a part-time competitor. Then, of course, Peter Hoppy, Corey Rainey, and Isaiah Fox last week at Auto Club. So now we are at Kansas at the Fisher Studios 250. The biggest thing is who will be able to take this win tonight. Now, as always, guys, be sure to drop in the chat who you think is going to be your winner picks here tonight. We've still got a lot of time left, but it's always nice to see who is being rooted for earlier on. Someone making a return to the 65 this week will be Cole Darcy, running that Fisher Studios paint scheme. Looking at some of the paint schemes on the field, we've got some clean paints out here today. It is almost time to go to the grid. We are going to hit a quick commercial break, and we will be back with about 40 seconds left before we hit that grid. Don't go anywhere. Get your snacks. Share the live streamed broadcast, and we will be back in just a few minutes.
I want to taste your banana pudding. You taste my banana pudding.
It's on. It's on.
I was going to say, will you marry me?
Is my makeup messy? Yes, it's messy.
Consumer Cellular can help people save on their cell phone bills. That's why I cut my car in half. This year, let's cut even more things to show people how much they can save. Let's cut the face off of our helmets. Let's cut the top off of our steering wheel. Let's even cut our hats.
Isn't that just a visor?
Shut up, Chris. Great. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with.
Get your second month free with Consumer Cellular.
And with that commercial break being done, before we go 25 laps at free, we are now ready for the grid. Looking at your starting grid, Peter Hoppy takes the pole position away here tonight. Lucas Lewis going to be starting on the outside in second. Corey Rainey in third with Charlie Bennett in fourth. And Hunter Battersby rounding out your top five. Just outside of the top five in sixth place is going to be Brad Miner. Seventh place, the 65 of Cole Darcy. Then in eighth place, we have Ace Wells with Jordan Fisher and Owen Lax rounding out your top 10. Now that our grid is set, we are ready to go green on the 83 of Hoppy when we get into that zone. Right now, drivers having to get ready to take on a mile and a half of racing. Of course, it's an intermediate speedway, 4 turns on an asphalt racing surface. Will that asphalt bear a little bit more worse for wear on those tires tonight compared to a concrete surface? That is going to be the biggest question. Pace lights off, signaling we are green. Next time by for the first lap here at the Fisher Studios 250. Of course, stage 1 and 2 are going to be 50 laps apiece, with stage 3 finishing at 67 laps. High octane, adrenaline filled racing for the next roughly 2 hours. As we are ready here in formation, it is about time. Pace car will be in this time. The 83 will be taking us to green flag once the flag man waves it in the air. Pace car off. First laps now underway as green flag is waved in the air. Hoppy and Lewis still side by side. Top four all within shooting distance of each other right now. This is something we're probably going to see here. Everybody always says Kansas, Las Vegas are kind of very similar tracks. So we're going to see a lot of the same racing we would if it was at Vegas here tonight. Of course, Lewis getting that lead position using the apron there, as that is a legal move. It is a solid white line, not a double yellow. So they are able to go down. Of course, as always, the drivers on track don't have to let them back up. It is up to the driver that drops down to make his way back up in a safe manner. A lot of lead changes here so far. Hoppy started it off. Lucas Lewis had a lead for a little bit there. Now Charlie Bennett to the front. We saw Charlie win a stage off of an insane pit strategy last week. Now trying to go for a stage win early on in stage one here. Of course, a lot of laps left to go. Only 3 laps in out of 50 this time for stage one. So the biggest question is, will he be able to hold it together for this long? I mean, it's 95% of fuel in the tanks. They only have 7 sets of tires for 167 laps overall. So that is something you got to keep in mind here. You can run through tires. The question is, do you want to run through your tires, and how early are you taking a set of tires? Now we are seeing a side drafting lead change there from the 08 again. Hoppy was able to take the lead temporarily. Now the 08 of Charlie Bennett had it back. Now Hoppy gets it back. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of fighting between these two for the lead. See a little bit of a block there from the 83, from the 08. Or to the 08, excuse me, as he had him in his mirror that entire time and knew he was going to dive down. That added a lot of time to the distance. Now it's about almost a 2/10 gap between the leader and the 83. The leader, the 83, and the 08 of Bennett. Lucas Lewis still sitting in third with Darcy in fourth now. Ace Wells rounding out your top 5. Those two in fourth and fifth, already up 3 positions from where they qualified. And Mandarud already up 7 positions, sitting comfortably in 6th place. Trying to make a pass here on the 8. He's got the advantage on the high side. Didn't have much of a run there. Now going to have to try and get it back again, as Bennett is trying to pull some time down to the 83 of Hoppy. This pack really tangled up here now, all trying to pass each other for position, and it's going to be very difficult to do so. Charlie Bennett leading this. Battersby right now, one position down from where he started out of the top 5. There's still a lot of racing left for him. So he does have time to make it back. Of course, drivers having to get these tires warmed up. That is the biggest thing about this track. Being on an asphalt racetrack, you need to have warm tires to really hold your line comfortably, hold it consistently. And, you know, early on, that might be a challenge as you see Battersby go up a little bit. And that almost wrecked him and the 78 of Mandarud. Mandarud had a slight contact to the outside wall there and kept it green. But he's going to lose a lot of time. Now Battersby really in the draft. He gained a lot of time to Darcy, but still has not made any leeway for position, as now the 8 of Wells is on his bumper and most likely looking to pass here soon. Hoppy practically running away from the field. Look at that gap on your screen right there. About a second. Just a little bit over a second of a gap between him and the 73 of Lucas Lewis. And it seems like he's not going to let off at all. Now there's about a 3/10 gap from Lewis to Charlie Bennett and that pack behind. Of course, that pack has been fighting for position early on here, so that could hurt them a little bit. Battersby still in 6th right now. Fisher now sitting in 7th, and Mandarud a little bit off pace, but still in the draft in 8th. Now, if you're looking, there's a huge gap between 8th and 9th place. Sitting in 9th right now is Lax. He is one position up from where he started. Rainey is rounding out your top 10 as he gets passed by Stinson to be pushed down to 11th. Rainey down 8 spots from where he started here tonight. So Rams really not having much of a resurgence early on, as it is a Chevy 1 through 4. Rams are sitting 9th, 10th, and 14th with a Nicholas Will in that 14th spot as well. You know, that could be something Hoppy's going to have to pay attention to, as the longer he runs up front, the more difficult it's going to be for him to actually keep rolling in that lead position. Now, of course, like I said, they got 7 sets of tires. He has about a 7/10 lead right now, so there's not too much he has to worry about right now. Of course, they're going to have to most likely have a green flag run in pits, but there's still the biggest question of, is Hoppy's tires actually going to make it to the end for him? Or will he have to take a set early on, or will we see him burn them up a little bit earlier, which could cost him that lead? I feel like he should be comfortable right now to run his tires as far as he possibly can. This track doesn't really eat them too bad. It still eats tires. All tracks really eat up and wear your tires down, but for Hoppy, it shouldn't be much of a problem for him early on here. It's going to be the late game he's going to have to worry about. Of course, looking to the back, looking back at the top 10, Stinson holding that 10th spot. Chris Melton not too far behind Corey Rainey as well. Melton gonna advance on Stinson on the low side there. Rainey just trying to drive it comfortably right now. He's just outside. 2 positions of getting some stage points here at the finish, but there's still about 29 to 30 laps left in this first stage run, so he has enough time to make it back. Of course, 13th place, Dylan Barris right now, the 77. Stephen Hayes in 14th, and the farther back we get, the more you see a gap. Of course, 15th and 16th place of Josh Ryder and Carroll not too far away from each other. And same with Pete Dillon. Dillon kind of just cruising back here in 17th. Not really in the draft of the 88 and the 32, but still has some opportunity. Nicholas Will now really falling off pace, though. He's all the way in 19th place by himself, so you got to wonder if there's something going on with that Ram. And he might be having a little bit of troubles. Something has happened with Ace Wells, the number 8. As all of my information is reading, he is out. We don't have an active camera feed on him either, so something might have happened to where he had to drop out of the race. Hoppy doing really good right now to start the run here for stage 1. He has led all of 20 laps. 24 laps have been done this time. Now to 25. Lucas Lewis held a lap for himself. Charlie Bennett has held 3 laps. Darcy has still not touched the lead, nor has Jordan Fisher in the top 5 right now. And coincidentally, man, Fisher has had more laps led in the Truck Series than he has in the Cup Series this season, with 3 top 5 finishes within 4 races. So the 25 of Fisher looking to really put a hurting on here when it comes down to him being a full-time competitor now in the Truck Series. Lights now in 6th place with a Hocevar inspired Delaware Life truck. Lights right now currently sitting in 4th place. On the points board, 160 points. Hoppy, the only driver so far locked in off a win. is in the points lead at 178. Charlie Bennett not too far behind at 163. There's only a 15-point difference between the 08 and the 83, which is also another reason why you're seeing them fight really hard here for the lead. Of course, Bennett now currently sitting in third place as Lewis is in second. There's about a almost 2.5 second gap between Bennett and the leader. And of course, not too much between him and Lucas. Lucas almost had an entire 2-second gap on Hoppy. So, I mean, at this point in time, it really seems like this could be a stage 1 win for Peter Hoppy as long as everything goes his way. Now, of course, lap 30 this time by hitting to 31. We are well more than halfway through the stage, and here comes the green flag pit cycles. Hoppy going to be the first one to go in, which means Lucas Lewis is going to rotate up to the lead now, which puts Charlie Bennett in second. Partner, do you think a pit cycle now with about 20 laps left of racing for Hoppy was a good move, or do you think he should have stayed out?
I feel like with the track like this, that can really put some wear on your car, especially if you're running out front with no draft anywhere to be found. It's probably going to be his best bet for right now, especially with that caution that's going to be coming up in about 20 laps. Getting some fresh tires, trying to stay up in front as much as possible is going to be his best option.
Now, even without the draft, that man was hell on wheels. So now you've got to wonder, where will he cycle out of pits this time? And how fast? Or how long will it take him to get back up to the lead? As he is already back out on the track. He's currently in 15th, a lap down. He's the first one a lap down. But of course, when the leaders pit, he'll get it back. Now, Bennett and Lucas both into pits at the same time. Jordan Fisher cycles to the lead. Nicholas Will and Dave Stinson in pits as well. Following the 83 of Hoppy right now, he is still a lap down in 12th place. Jordan Fisher in pits this time, as well as Mandaroon. Putting Melton in your lead position with Corey Rainey in second place, Battersby in third, Barris in fourth, and Brendan Carroll rounding out your top 5. A lot of drivers still haven't pitted. All of your top 9 drivers right now have not been in pits yet. Of course, the top 5, the Minor, Ryder, Dillon, and Hayes. There's 15 laps to go now. Now, something to kind of think of here, Kenny. Do you feel like it's bad to have a pit strategy this late into stage 1, as it's going to put you a lap down and you're going to have to pray to get that lap back? I mean, of course, Hoppy in 10th now, the first one a lap down. So if this stage goes green, he'll get it back off of pits. Off of the rest of the guys pitting, but some of the other guys might not be able to.
I feel like with how this particular lap counts are set up for the stages and how the tires and everything wear with this track, that the best bet is going to be to take that pit during the green flags, because you will end up losing a lot of time if you just keep trying running it out. At the end of the day, you could try and run it out and take that pit at the end there whenever that caution does come out, and hopefully hold your position. But with how fast Peter Hoppy has been, he will get that lucky dog, and he will be coming up behind you very fast. He has been marching around this field right now, just shortly passed up Corey Rainey, who is in second. So he is marching up to Christopher Milton right now, actually going ahead past Christopher Milton.
Getting it back.
And he has his lap back before the caution.
The hardest way possible too, man. And Hoppy has a knack for doing that. We've seen a lot of drivers try to take that and run with it, you know, get your lap back the hard way. Of course, it's easier for him now as he's on fresher tires than Melton is. As Melton still has yet to go into pits. We've seen Lax go into pits just a few laps ago, as well as Barris. Right now, your top 5 has yet to pit with 11 laps to go. Now Hoppy sitting back on lead lap in 6th, so he has no worries. Lax will now be the first one to get a lap back if these top 5 can actually run that tank out under green flag conditions. Now the 08 and the 14 around the leaders, so they will also be getting their laps back. 65 trying to do it as well, so he'll get a lap back. You know, staying out this long, it doesn't seem to be prevailing for Melton right now. Of course, you know, lap traffic isn't the traffic you're worried about. It's the lead lap traffic. But now it puts you at a disadvantage. Now, if you go into pits, you're already going to have drivers that are well ahead of you that you had trapped a lap down. So it's going to negatively impact him becoming lap traffic as well, as now the 73 of Lucas Lewis is going to go around him to get his lead lap back. I mean, that is 5 drivers alone that has passed the 52 as a sitting duck right now on these old tires. You just can't make anything happen with them.
It makes you wonder why he hasn't decided to pit yet. At this point, the car is just a moving brick, and everyone is just getting around him as if he's sitting still. Might as well just go ahead and take the tires, but with the fact that we're at lap 42, might as well at the same time ride it out.
I mean, he might be trying to do a gas and go here, or he might have saved enough to be able to finish. And if that's the case, kudos to Melton, as he'll grab stage 1 for himself. I mean, normally pits close with 2 to go, unless it's stage 3. So that'll be something, you know, we'll have to keep an eye on, as we've steady been watching the 52 right now. As he crosses the line, it takes 7 more laps here tonight. Darcy's in 2nd place. I mean, looking at Hoppy now, he is 26 seconds back from the leader, and he is pulling that time down pretty quickly. So I don't know. I mean, the strategy for Melton, of course, we don't get to hear what's going on in his ears or really see his situation. I mean, we can look right here and try to follow on board with him, see what he's doing. I mean, it doesn't really seem like he's clutching. He's letting the guys drive past him, of course. Doesn't really seem like much going on here. So I mean, the partner, he might be trying to get a stage win the tough way, and that's off of a gas strategy.
And I'll give it to him. It's definitely a bold strategy. Rarely will it actually end up working for some guys, but when you have a track like this that really likes to beat up these cars, especially when you race them real hard, you Yeah, you gotta at least applaud him for giving it a shot.
See, and this is the thing now. With stage 1 and 2 being both 50 laps, if he could pull this off here now, that means he can pull this off next stage as well. Which means if anybody is word to the wise, they could also try this as well. Of course, all outcomes are going to be different, as you know, Melton has probably practiced this strategy for a pretty extensive amount of time, but it doesn't take it off the table for anybody else to try this. I mean, of course, there's a lot more risk for reward trying it, as now he comes in with 4 to go. So he's got a lot of laps led. But now is the question, how far is he going to fall back? Of course, along pit road. He is in the back of pit road, which means he's not going to be able to get past that line pretty quickly to get back out. Brendan Carroll in pits now too. Corey Rainey still has not been to pits with 3 laps to go. He is trying to push that tank to the limit. Same with Hunter's Battersby. He has not been in either. Only 2 drivers have yet to pit. One of them currently in the lead. And Peter Hoppy is now literally right on the tail of the 4 car. So not only did he get his lap back the hard way, he is now pushing back to get the lead with 2 more laps to go in stage 1, as Corey Rainey is on an old set of tires and is going to have to play a little bit of a block game here to do so. But Rainey is a veteran Season 2 champion in the Cup Series. He knows what it takes to have to get this stage win. And if he can get the stage win now, this could set him up for success with stage 2. Hoppy trying to run pretty quick there. Had a break. He almost hit the rear bumper of the 4. Last corner for these drivers. Will Rainey be able to hold it on with an insane strategy? He did not pit for 50 laps. Here they come to the straightaway. Hoppy going to go on the outside. Dive under. No. That was actually close. I believe that was just scored as Corey Rainey with a stage 1 win. What an insane stage finish. Let's go ahead and watch that again. That was close. We're talking tenths of a second close. So see, that was the 1 to go flag right there. They had a pretty good gap. This is where Hoppy had to really check up. And now as they went for the stage 1 finish, Hoppy dives down low. I mean, that's a pretty close call there. That's too close for comfort right there.
And partner, I was watching Corey Rainey entering into the pits here. I believe he might have ran out of fuel and had to coast to his pit box. Because he was going rather slow down that pit lane.
Back it up and see him entering pit lane here. I mean, that could be a very, very well could have happened.
As you noticed there, the entire field had to pass him at a point.
Yeah, he was not in gas at all. 300 RPMs. Truck shut off.
So it was by far a bold strategy that he pulled there. Just able to get that baby back to the pit box.
Yeah, he was shutting his car off to be able to make it to pit road. And then kind of started it with whatever gas he had left. Still a really great strategy from the 4 car to be able to get the stage win. Now the question is, do you do it again?
Now, I'm going to be honest, partner. Coming back here, he's going to be placing 9th because of that issue with the fuel. And it makes you wonder if it was worth it now. Because he's not going to be coming back in first place. Is that strategy really the great idea? I don't know. I guess the test is going to be this next stage here, and if he's going to go ahead and try and do it again.
Well, I mean, he started in 3rd and went down to about 11th, and then sat there for majority of half the stage, and then worked his way back up through pit cycles. It's kind of something we see from Rainey a lot, that Ford truck, of being consistent and having that situation, you know, where he can pull himself back up. So it's probably something we're going to be seeing again here. This green flag is out now for stage 2. And you know, as we were talking with that Ford truck, it makes it easier for him. Now he doesn't have to drop back and pay attention to most of the guys. He can just run his race in that mid-pack position after getting a stage 1 win, and kind of come back and put the magic back on and do it all over again. Lucas Lewis taking the lead away from Fisher and Lax pretty early. We're going to get a 3 wide here for the lead. Looks like Lucas tapped his brakes there. He is going to fall all the way back to 7th place as Boris is now in the lead. Darcy and Fisher side by side. Kind of. And look, partner, like you were saying, I don't think it was going to negatively impact that 4, as now he is already back up in 3rd place right now. .65 and the 25 stacking on the low side. Four car in the preferred lane here on the straightaway. Using that 65's draft, still can't get around the 25 though. Bars currently in the lead. as we are on lap 60 this time by. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more Fisher Studios Truck Series action here in just a few minutes.
Got a great car, great team. Go execute.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day, be in victory lane.
The after-jets are won. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
What a victory this will be. Next flag is going to end. Does he have another? Let's go! A dominant performance.
They're going to say no, baby. Let's go! You got to earn this thing.
It is all on the table.
Now we are back here, and a lot has changed since we went to commercial break. Corey Rainey, your stage 1 winner, now back into the lead after starting in 9th place for stage 2. Dylan Barris in 2nd, Darcy in 3rd. Fisher and Mandarood rounding out your top 5. Just outside is going to be Bennett and Melton in 6th and 7th place. And partner, just like you were talking about, oh, there's a yellow on the field. This is 65 at Darcy. Of course they would wait after we come back from commercial.
I wonder if maybe he was trying to still.
Well, of course, we can get cockpit view here because it did happen on the apron. Yeah, you can see that apron started to break him loose. I feel like he could have saved that. All he had to do was really just get out the gas. And it would have costed him a few positions there, but I feel like if he did get out of the gas, he would have kind of, he would have been able to hold his own water. Now, of course, that's going to be a game changer as pits are going to be open now. So that is going to change up the possible outcome of this race. For stage 2, yes, of course, we're only 17 laps in, but you saw a lot of drivers make it on a huge fuel run at the end there. Rainey getting the win on after not having to pit. So now the question is, does the 4-car take tires and gas, or does he just go for gas? Car's jacked up there, so he is taking tires. That might push these guys to a finished stage now. Crazy fight there for the exit. Boris and Rainey were back practically nose to nose there. And that, Rainey fortunately came out with the lead, so he will stay in first place. Boris will be in second, Fisher in third, Bennett in fourth, and Melton rounding out your top 5. We still got a few guys laps down. Pete Dillon getting his free pass now. Of course, Stinson out already for the night. Minor 5 laps down, still on the track right now. Now we should be back to green. Pace car off. This time by green flag out. Lap 21 out of 50 for stage 2. Drivers will be able to make it now off a fuel strategy. Now we're going to see Boris and Rainey go side by side for the lead here. Boris able to pull away with the lead, putting him and Charlie Bennett in first and second. Rainey now fighting for third place with Lucas Lewis just on the bottom side. Corey Rainey able to get second place back to Charlie Bennett now, as Boris has fallen all the way to 5th. going to be Bennett and Rady fighting for the lead here. Rady already knows with about halfway through this stage. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to be able to make it. All these drivers know everybody should be able to make it now. Majority of all drivers having 5 sets of tires left. Was almost a 3 wide for the lead. Bennett gonna hold on to it. Corey for a penalty. With an over-under to the top. Here goes Raymond back in the front. Managing both lines. He's doing a pretty good job to keep his competitors at bay behind him right now. But how long will it last? Bennett has already had the lead. Now it's Lax, the 14 in third, fighting for second. Lax getting around Lucas comfortably. Matt honing in on the Ford truck. Partner, if you were Rainey, what would you need to be doing right now to keep that 14 behind you?
To try not to do it to the demise of where it's going to allow somebody else to move up right past him. It looks like he's about to be possibly battling almost 3 different people for that lead, and he's just going to have to keep kind of skid-scatting all over the track to kind of keep him at bay.
Now the hardest thing is having to, like you said, keep the gas pedal down to the floor. And trying to run a good, consistent, clean line. Lax trying to take it on the outside right now. Will that happen is the biggest question right now, as he is slowly getting closer and closer. The longer time ticks on. Rainey on the inside there, making a lot of time up now, as he is able to pass him with no problem. Rainey gets the lead back from the 73's assistance of draft on the bottom side. Rainey knows what it takes to keep Lax away. They have raced against each other before in the Cup Series multiple times, so he is not new at this competition with the 14. Now it's just back and forth between the 14 and the 4. Who is going to be able to hold on to it at the end of this stage is going to be the biggest question. 33 laps out of 50 done in the stage. Lax now holds the lead. As it looks like Lucas has fallen back to start pushing the 25 of Fisher up to get to that lead position. .25 honed in on Rainey now. $15 more laps to go in stage 2. Now it's Rainey and Fisher fighting it out while Lax slowly pulls away from the pack. Rainey going to get the positioning. Fisher going to fall off just a little bit. Now he's going to be fighting with the 08 of Charlie Bennett for that position. Gets around. Now Fisher falls down to 4th. Reconnected with Lucas Lewis. Lucas and Fisher trying to make a move back up to the front. Rainey now about a 10th behind Lax. This time past the line will be 10 more laps to go in the stage.
So we haven't seen too much of in this second stage part. Peter Hoppy's getting back up into the top 5. You begin to wonder what happened to all that speed that he had in that first stage, where it all has gone.
Might be trying a different strategy, hoping for a good outcome, but unfortunate for him right now, not working to his favor. Dylan Barris in the 77 was in the caution that time by. You see him get spun out.
77 and the 87 of Mandarin. I mean, not Mandarin, Minor, excuse me.
You know, partner, as I've been watching around on the track, checking out different people in different parts of the pack, one thing I've started to notice as this race is wearing on is the fact that these guys are starting to get a little bit more aggressive with each other. Starting to see a little bit more contact, a little bit more bumping and grinding here and there. You begin to wonder if maybe these guys are just getting a little bit fatigued already, or if they're just kind of getting a little fed up with some of these guys.
To be honest, I feel like it's normal racing. Normally about halfway through, or, you know, about to the point of midway of stage 2, you'll see the aggression. Rainey spins around, leaving pits. Not a good situation there for the 4. Looked like he burnt them a little bit too hard coming out of pits. That's exactly what happened. He burnt them around just a little bit too much exiting pits. It's going to cost him a lot of positions. He's now in 7th. But as I was saying, partner, to you, kind of the same thing you normally see on a week-in, week-out basis. These guys kind of play the relaxed game early on, and then stage 2 we'll see a little bit more aggression come out, you know, just trying to be a little bit more aggressive, you know, just trying to signal to the guys around you, hey, look, I'm not going to let you pass me easy. You know, I'm going to fight for my position come stage 3. And it normally ramps up in stage 3. It's normally where you see a lot more cautions come from, due to drivers not really being in the position that they were hoping for, expecting to, or practice for. So I feel like from here on out until the end of the race, we should see a little bit more, if not a lot more, aggression on the track from specific drivers. Now back green in the restart zone off of Owen Lags. Really a good restart for the whole field. His Lags wasn't able to pull away much.
It looks like Charlie Bennett and Peter Hoppy just got into it there. Oh, also wrapping up the 87 of Minor at the end of that there.
I heard what sounded like a blown engine while going over to Hoppy's camera, so that's not a good thing.
I believe it was Bennett's engine, maybe. He did start slowing down a lot, which then caused the 83 to come around into him.
The blown engine was from the head-on collision of the 87. Had to go onto the camera view. I mean, and it's just an unfortunate situation there. You didn't expect to be in a caution. I mean, look how far back he was at the time of the wreck. He didn't expect Hoppy to be there, and unfortunately just cleared himself out. So Minor now out for the night. Hoppy probably the same, depending on how much damage he has. Probably about 5 to 6 minutes of damage to that right door, as he was hit about square on in that door. So I mean, that's definitely going to slow you down, especially putting your tires out of alignment with the initial hit to the wall. I mean, he's probably, as you were saying, you know, we where was Hoppy? We ain't seen him. We haven't found him, and you know, he didn't have much of that same resurgence he did from stage 1, and now unfortunately might kind of be down and out for the count for stage 2 and 3. Of course, Lax and Lewis and Fisher, 1, 2, and 3. Cody Chusco, this time by. Who is going to be able to take stage 2? Literally think we're going to have a 3-lap shootout as well.
And you do got Corey Rainey lingering back there in 6th now, even after spinning out. He keeps moving back up to the front of the field. Seems like he really wants this race real bad tonight.
Well, there is actually a little bit of a rivalry on the track between Parker Motorsports and RVR, Corey Rainey, and Fisher about, you know, not only the Cup side. Green flag back out now. But not only for the Cup side, you know, but also here at Kansas. It was a hell of a race last year between him and Jordan Fisher for the win. You know, we're now back to back in a doubleheader. Both drivers on the same night. Well, two different nights, 2 different teams, same track, just 2 different cars. So it's going to be interesting to see how, you know, a lot of the rivalry from the tonight finishing position will boil over into the Cup race for those 2 tomorrow.
And at the end of the 2nd stage, we have Owen Lax as your stage 2 winner. Rounding out the top 5, Owen Lax, Jordan Fisher, Lucas Lewis, Corey Rainey, and Hunter Buttersby.
You know, Battersby pretty early on was suffering a little bit in stage 1. Was consistently sitting outside of the top 5, but finds a good finish here tonight as Owen will take stage 2 which means there's only one more stage of racing to go. Stage 3, the stage that matters the most to these drivers, and of course to the points. Will we see another part-time driver take a win, or will we see a full-time driver claim the second playoff spot and meet Peter Hoppy there as well? We'll find out when we go back green in a few minutes. Green flag back out for drivers now, as we are back underway for stage 3. Not much more in the racing surface for them tonight, as we are now at lap 104 out of 167. Josh Ryder decided to stay out on an old set of tires, as his last pit lap was at 92, so not too far back. But I mean, he's about 10 laps behind on a tire set. Then these drivers will be on fresh tires. Now Corey Rainey shoots himself out to the lead. Lucas Lewis had to get around the 32 there for that third place position, and already Josh Ryder's fallen back to 5th.
Yeah, definitely an interesting strategy there for Josh Ryder of not taking the pit there during break, especially because he's already got about 10 laps in on those tires, and you got 67 laps for this entire stage here. He's going to be in the pits well before anybody else. You wonder if it's going to end up panning out for him, or if it just ends up keeping him in the back.
Well, I feel like being at a 10-lap disadvantage, of course, you're going to have to pit earlier now. Now, with that being said, I mean, not only are you 10 laps behind on gas, you're also about 10 laps behind on tires. So, it's going to be interesting to see where he kind of cycles out after his pit run in a green flag condition, and how that really could affect the outcome of his race too, finishing position wise. I mean, granted, it is stage 3. We're going to see a lot more cautions. Of course, even though everybody wants to keep it as clean as possible, this is, like I said earlier, this is normally where majority of your cautions come from. As of right now, we've only had 5 cautions for 14 laps of pacing, that including your stage breaks too. So technically, we've only had 3 cautions for accident. 18 lead changes here, though. We have had more lead changes here tonight than a super speedway. Of course, right now, Lucas in the lead over the 4 car of Rainey. Good bump from the 7 of Battersby to the 14. That's actually going to give the 14 the run to be able to go down to the bottom side. Now takes on your lead position, but we've got to be careful. We've seen this before from the 14. He gets in the lead position and then just makes a little bit of a bad move and ends up wrecking himself out. Top 3 still trying to fight like hell. Contact with the 25 and the 73. That is Jordan Fisher and his own driver, Lucas Lewis, almost getting in an accident there. Now it's Lax in the lead, not by too much. About a 0.25 over Rainey right now. Battersby takes the 2nd place position. And now it's going to be Fisher and Lucas going through it again, trying to reach the top 5. Looking at some of the rest of the guys, Charlie Bennett is in 13th right now. Bennett started his race off strong in stage 1, leading a few laps early on, but we really haven't seen much come of him since then. Now look, partner, Josh Ryder is in 6th place. He hasn't really fallen off too bad. But from him starting in 1st here, now back to 6th, I mean, he's lost a decent amount of positioning already. Do you still feel like it's going to follow that same trend for him, where he's going to keep slowly but surely losing that time and falling further back off the field?
Yeah, I do believe he's going to keep losing that time, and right now it seems like James Manrood is having a bit of trouble getting around him. So he's been able to kind of hold him off and hold that 6th position. I think really what he's hoping for is that they kind of get an early stage caution here, so that way he can get on a level playing field as everybody else. But as these laps continue to wear on his car, it's only a matter of time before he starts slipping back, and it's going to start to happen rather quickly.
Now, Josh Underwood practically fighting it out for position right now. Underwood pitted at lap 101 too, so you gotta wonder why it was a little bit difficult to get around the 32. Might have not been trying to drive so hard to burn up a little bit of those tires. Now finding his way around. As now it's going to be the 25 of Fisher and the 4 car of Rainey having to battle it out. Jordan's going to get up to the side-by-side of Battersby and pass him like a sitting duck now. So now it's Owen Lax in first, Fisher in second, and Battersby in third. As Rainey passes now to Blake third.
I mean, partner, with this top 5, it seems like they have kind of solidified at this point that they are all going to be duking it out to the end here. They have separated themselves pretty decently well from the rest of the field, and for, well, even since last stage, have been pretty much the only drivers in the running for the lead at this point.
I would kind of agree to you, partner. Not many other drivers have kind of showed they have what it takes to get the win here tonight. Now, we could be completely, you know, corrected before the end of this race, but I mean, as of right now, it truthfully doesn't seem like anybody outside of this top 5 right now have the pace. I mean, Peter Hoppy had the pace, but he is now unfortunately parked and out for the night in the garage after that situation that we saw earlier in Minor. So, I mean, one of the 2 cars that really haven't been mentioned so much that had the opportunity are kind of at bay now. I mean, Hoppy was one of them. And then, of course, Charlie Bennett, the 08, he's in 13th. You know, like I said, he had a strong start, but right now not showing much hope unless this 13th place sit right now is a part of the race call and the strategy.
He very much could just be sitting back there waiting for his moment to strike. Maybe he has some hidden speed that he has yet to display to everybody. Could end up proving us wrong at the end of the night.
Definitely wouldn't be the first, and definitely will not be the last time either. Drivers now on lap 124 of 167 for the race, 24 for this stage at a 67. Everybody keeping it clean up front. Lax still holding the lead. Rainey in second place right now. Fisher still in third, lining himself up for a good situation here. And possibly to the top 5 finish as long as everything goes his way. Now it is really starting to get thinned out here. We're not seeing many moves. The strategy for long run kind of coming into effect now. Lax still in the lead. Rainey trying to fight him on the outside. Lax putting a block on. We're not seeing much of a difference here, partner, and within the top 5, though. You got to wonder, are these drivers trying to stay conservative on the set of tires? Of course, the first tires they took were most likely at that green flag pit cycle. And then, of course, again at the end of stage 1 break. And then one on that last caution, on the first caution, or second caution, here tonight. So, you got to wonder, the drivers have about 5 sets of tires left. Do you think they'll be changing them out every 40 laps, or you feel like some drivers might just go ahead and run as far as they can on those tires and gas before they go in?
I see them kind of trying to just settle in and let it run, especially with the fact that if no one else is going in quite yet, you could end up putting yourself in a bad position where maybe you go in a little too early and by the time the end of the race comes around, you end up in the back of the pack because you ended up with worse tires than everybody else. So right now, I'd just say for everyone, just kind of let it ride until the front of the pack maybe starts coming into the pits.
Not a bad bit of advice there too. Me personally, I would try to run it out as far as I possibly can before I went into pits. Now you see a lot of downside to that as well. Normally the first person in pits is the first person to finish. Of course, it's just crazy how that works out. But me personally, I'd rather be on 2 to 3, maybe 5 lap fresher tires than the man that went in 5 laps before me, just so I can, go get that win. It does come down to pretty hectic calls. And of course, the more cautions we have here, the more that'll really throw it off to the point where, we'll see caution pit cycles and caution, bountifulness consistently. But I don't really. I was trying to think of a way to say it respectfully without saying, just a wreck fest at the end of a race. But it's going to be challenging here at the end, especially if we keep getting yellow flags out. Of course, right now we're doing good. We've had a lot of racing here. Very minor incidences. The incidents we have had have, just been solo spins or, just a driver moving up too early compared to, the other drivers around them on track. Of course, thinking they're clear and, not being clear. Of course, these trucks don't have mirrors all around. You only have a small little compact mirror on your left side and your virtual rear view mirror. So you do still have a lot of dead zones in the trucks. And, it's understandable, a couple wrecks here and there, as long as, it's not the same person dishing out wreck over and over and over. But it's part of racing. Now, if we went green here at Kansas, that would have been incredible. As Kansas is a really good track. It's a fun track. It's actually officials this week, so these drivers have had training. They've had time to run it. Of course, not for these trucks, as the trucks are at COTA, but for the B car and the A car, these drivers have had the opportunity to get development on and get comfortable, with the turns. Of course, once you race Kansas, you don't forget Kansas, but it is one of the best on the schedule. I don't think anybody would ever argue with you there. Now, Lack's doing a really good job as the leader right now. He's led 45 laps of the race so far.
Corey Rainey not too far behind has led 24. Melton has led 14 laps himself in the 52. Of course, Lucas has led 5. And Darcy rounding out your top 5. He has led 2. Of course, most of those drivers leading were on the pit cycles. The 52 of Melton we thought was going to have the Corey Rainey strategy for stage 1, but fell about 4 to 5 laps short. So now it's a pretty big shakeup here. We've had a lot of people kind of try different strategies so far. Not many succeed. Boris and Will are both in pits. They are the first to pit. Stephen Hayes also went in about 131. So about 3 drivers right now that have pitted early. The rest of drivers all at 101. Other than the 32 of Ryder, who went in at lap 92 and decided to stay out. He's still holding down 6th place right now. Now, Action Rainey still battling it out for a lead position. Rainey made a little bit of contact with the wall there. So that's definitely going to slow down his time. It's going to be a little bit more unfortunate now for him. Well over the halfway point of stage 3 as these drivers are on lap 40 now out of 67. Corey Rainey battling his heart out to try and get this lead position. Of course, pits are open as Lucas Lewis goes in this time. You know, may ask, what happened with Fisher? Fisher got spun out by Lucas Lewis earlier on, and that has pushed him down to 12th position. Corey Rainey actually decides to come in this time. He's not going to try that late end strategy. Probably maybe for some tires here. Who knows?
Well, it looks like Owen Lax pitted just before Rainey came in here. He's already back out on the track. With Lucas Lewis now taking back in the lead here. Cole Darcy in second. James Manrood in third, Brandon Carroll in fourth, and Hunter Battersby rounding out the top 5 for the time being.
And you know, Darcy, Manderud, Carroll, and Battersby have all yet to pit since lap 101, including Charlie Bennett now, who sits in top 5 position. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out for these drivers now, as they still have a pit cycle to go.
Darcy coming into the pits now. Manderud choosing to stay out. Carroll into the pits, but it also looks like Battersby spun out and just tapped his nose on the inside wall there as he was coming in.
Charlie Bennett as well in pits now, and that's going to cost Battersby a lot of time, not only to the competitors that also pitted with him, but to him getting back out on the field.
Now Mandarin fighting with Rainey a little bit there. Rainey has to catch back up to Lax. Not too far away, but still not as close as you want to be, as these are going to be your leaders that cycle back up to the front when Mandarin pits. Mandarin this time in as well, so when Owen passes the line, Owen will be your new leader.
Now this is when you begin to question for Corey Rainey. He's been for most of this third stage just kind of sitting behind Lax and enjoying the draft and the fact that he can save a bit on his tires and his fuel. Is he going to be a bit more aggressive and try and go ahead and go after first right away? Or is he going to hold off and wait till towards a little bit more towards the end of the race here to try and pull off the victory?
We'll see. The thing about Lax is he is very meticulous about not only his racing but a race finish. I truthfully feel like he's going to give him one hell of a fight to try to go around if he is, and not make it as comfortable as it could have been for the four. Now still a lot rides on that line. You don't want to be too aggressive and it causes spin, but you also don't want to be that aggressive and it burn your tires up. I mean, right now we're seeing both of them drive their normal lines, the regular times, and Rainey's now within 1.18 of a tenth onto Lax. So, with 30 laps left in this race, we could possibly see a very, very big fight for first place by the end. Now, drivers still battling it out for that lead position. Currently on lap 148 of the race. 20 laps to go. Owen Lax currently your leader. Dodge leading the field 1 and 2 right now.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh, my
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Got a great car, great team. Go execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Back. Ten laps left to go here. What an insane a battle we have seen through commercial break. Corey Rainey, Owen Lax side by side. Lax getting the lead, Rainey getting the lead back. Now you got Melton only 3.54 seconds back. I mean, not in close distance right now, but he has been pulling off time. Now with 10 laps to go, there is a lot riding on the line here for the Ford truck of Rainey. We saw Lax slap the wall there a little bit. It put about 3, maybe 4 seconds, 4/10 of a second time as he was riding the bumper of Rainey. So now Lax really going to have to dig deep and get a lot of time back here with 9 laps to go. We know Lax can be aggressive and is aggressive at the end of a race. The question is, will that aggression actually pay off, or will it wear down his tires just a little bit more? Lax not losing much time on the straights. He is not gaining time in the straights. He is losing time in the corners. He is now about up to a 0.5.
Yeah, partner, with a half a second of a difference between them right now, and the fact that we are running down on laps. He needs to kick that vehicle into high gear if he wants to try and contend for this victory.
I mean, I believe he's already kicking up as far as he can go. Now, here's going to be the thing. Lap traffic. Will it be easy for these drivers to get around? Will it be a little bit difficult to maneuver? Rainey?
Could we see some teammates help out each other?
Now you see Rainey get around Stephen Hayes pretty easy there. Lax is now back about almost a full second. 0.8 of a second back now. He's going to have a dive with the apron, which is going to burn those tires up just a little bit more. As he's kind of fighting with Hayes there a little bit. Now it's fully clear. That's going to give Rainey a lot of ground in between now as Lax has been slowly off pace and falling further back.
Yeah, at this point now, Rainey has a 0.8 second gap on Lax, and if that continues to grow at this point like it is, it's all over with 4 to go now at this point.
I mean, an insane race. This will be a season for the history books. If he can get this win, this will be the 4th win this season of a non-full-time driver. His 2nd win in the Truck Series.
And partner, what a turnaround going from where in the first stage he did win, but I mean, ran out of fuel, you know, was having to turn his engine on and off just to conserve his fuel, to now coming to the finishing line pretty much uncontested entirely.
I mean, this is the situation he wanted to put himself in after not being able to claim stage 2 and getting it back in stage 3. And now Charlie Bennett just in front, another lapped car with 1 to go, and they pass this line. Lax now back 1.78. No yellow flag, no caution if they hit 1. You can wrap it up with a bow for the Ford truck now as he's coming out of 3 and 4 to the front stretch. No yellow in the air, so now white flag at this point in time. As long as that 4 stays on his game, it is over. That is the 2nd win for him in the Truck Series after an insane run in stage 1, burning out his fuel, only totaling 43 laps in the lead. The number 4 of Corey Rainey passes victory lane at the start and finish line to claim a win number 2 in the Truck Series.
Race. What a race.
What a race indeed. You see Lax there. Give him a little congratulatory nudge. As now the 4 gets to burn it down on the front stretch for the 2nd time this season.
Partner, you know that feels good for him, especially after last week, for both Truck and Cup just having a terrible week last week and coming back and winning the Trucks this week. You know that he feels wonderful about this.
Now this is also going to give him a big advantage, winning the Truck Series race here tonight, going into Kansas tomorrow with the Gen 6 cars, facing almost the entire field here tonight. For competition as a full-time driver, still waiting to claim victory 1 as a returning champion. This gives a lot of edge to RVR moving forward for tomorrow. Of course, race finish now. Rainey in first, Lax in second, Melton with third, Lewis in fourth, Darcy in fifth. Rounding out your top 5, Fisher was able to make it back up to 6th. But notice, it was a tough race for all individuals involved as they tried their best to make it back up to him. Give it some time, see if these drivers are ready. I believe we have all top 3 in the waiting room. I am not seeing Melton.
Melton and Rainey are missing out of the waiting room right now.
Well, Rainey's sitting in his own.
Oh,
he's
in
still sitting in
RBR.
the team channel. Yeah. All right. Well, we're not going to hear from Melton. We're just going to go to Lax. All right, let's go ahead and pull in here. Your full-time competitor in the Cup Series. I think he is a part-time competitor here. Let me check. No, he is. No, he's full-time in both. Okay, so let's pull a full-time competitor going for a double championship right now. Still has yet to claim a win. Being the 40 of Owen Lack.
Hi.
Hi. You're just not going to let us escape you, are you?
Yes.
So, I mean, good race for you tonight, man. You finished in second, up 8 spots from where you graded in 10th. Seemed to kind of get that run you needed from stage 2 on. Unfortunately, not enough at the last 15-20 laps there to really get that lead away from Rainey. First off, how does it feel? I know you're not on the same team, but how does it feel to have a Dodge 1 and 2? I mean, you guys in the Rams have kind of really been on par to dethrone Chevy as the number 1 competitor in NARS.
I mean, I liked it more last week when it was my car that won it, but it's cool. Obviously, with me and Corey both being Cup champions. But I mean, I kind of wish it was the other way around, especially with him not running for points. I want to win and lock in, and just haven't been able to finish yet.
Now, I mean, with this win, I believe this makes the 4th win from a non-playoff competitor. Fisher got his win at Daytona before he went full-time. Rainey at Vegas, Fox at Auto Club, and now here again, Rainey at Kansas. The only person locked into the playoffs at this point in time is Hoppy from race 2 at Atlanta. Does that kind of, like you said, you want to be locked into the playoffs and not really have to worry about your points? I mean, does that kind of consistently on a weekly basis put a damper on things for not only for you, but, for the guys that are full-time that haven't been able to get that win yet?
I mean, it kind of depends on who you're looking at on the point sheet. For me, I'm not super I'm not in a must-win situation right now, thankfully. But it is just a little bit more security. That would be nice. In case you have races like Hoppy had tonight, where he gets wrecked in stage 2 and finishes 15th, 16th. You want to have an insurance policy for those races. One of those ways is points, but a guaranteed way is a win. Part-time guys winning for me is fine, because that's not someone that's jumping me in the playoff standings. I mean, obviously, I haven't had the win yet, but I also haven't had anybody below me in the point standings jump me because of that. So, I mean, it's kind of a positive and a negative, because for me, part-time guys winning isn't a huge, it's not a big deficit for me. but at the same time, like, I want that insurance.
Now, I mean, of course, like you said, sitting fourth in points right now is you're gonna get a a good boost here tonight. Is you finished in front of Lucas and Charlie, and Hoppy not able to finish this race. Of course, he is locked in, but that will lose a little bit as he was only, I believe, like 13 points behind. Well, Bennett was only 13 points behind him. You about 18. So, I mean, this will give you guys a big advantage now on points here going forward. Of course, like you said, not really in a must-win situation, but still a lot of schedule left to go. How are you feeling about your odds of claiming the first Truck Series championship?
I mean, if I keep finishing second to part-time guys, we'll see. But right now, the point situation for me is really favorable. I think I gained 4 points on Lucas, so I think I'll be like 1 point ahead of him in the point standings for the lead. I don't know if I jumped Hoppy or not, but I would think so with the stage win and him finishing down in the points. So if we go into next week with the points lead, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, literally started. I missed a race that everyone else pretty much ran at Daytona. So to make up those points is a really big deal. And now it's really about just staying consistent and keeping the points lead as long as I can. I'm not always the fastest car. I'm not always the best long run car, but if I can keep putting myself in decent positions like I did tonight, I was not the fastest car. I was horrible in 3 and 4 all night. I was losing. You could see I was losing time to Rainey every single lap in 3 and 4 that last stage. But it's really what it's about, and a lot of the top guys, Corey knows this. Managing your car when you can, or if you have to, getting the finish that you need, but maybe not the finish that you want, and that's something that I didn't do well at the start of the season. Obviously, stage racing was great for me, but I wasn't finishing where I should have. Sometimes I had a 4th place car and I'd go for a stupid move and it would cost me. Or I wouldn't get fuel. So, really just got to keep managing. I don't have to go out and dominate. I just have to manage. And if I continue to manage like I have been, I think, playoffs is extremely possible. And if I get enough playoff points just racing well, I can place myself into the final 4 on merit alone. So, I mean, just got to kind of lock in for the last, or until the playoffs, get as many points as I can, playoff points, win a race eventually. But, there's 3 podiums in a row. I'm knocking on the door. So truck championship is, I don't want to say it's possible or impossible this early, but I think, if I keep this result going, then yes.
Now, of course, here it was a pretty good race tonight. A lot of people kind of fell off pace, and it went scattered and very spread out by stage 2 and 3. Of course, by the end, not many cautions here for wrecks tonight. I believe it was a total of 3, with 2 stage breaks for 5 in total. How was the racing on the field for you tonight?
I mean, when I was further back earlier in the race, maybe I was expecting a few more cautions, seeing what what was ahead of me, just how they were racing, and eventually I got up there. I kind of waited to see how everybody would drive, and then after that, I felt a lot more comfortable kind of moving through the field, and I mean, races like that, they wear on the drivers. Green flag pit stops, they're hard. I gained a lot of time under green flag stops today. So, they do wear a lot on you mentally. You're always counting down to your pit lap essentially. counting the laps or counting how much fuel you need or trying to figure out how many tires you want. It's a lot. It wears on you. But at the same time, I don't want to caution a bunch of all of us back up because I felt really good. So, I mean, for some people, that long race affects them negatively. For some people, that long race affects them positively. And I think either way, I could have done decent, but I think running longer was definitely the better race for me.
No, of course, there at the end, it just seemed like you really didn't have the tires to kind of keep up with Rainy. I mean, this entire stage 3, you guys were really fighting back and forth for the lead. A little bit of a precursor in, the stage 2, about midway with, all of you guys fighting pretty hard. What kind of happened there at stage 3 where, it kind of led to Rainey just pulling away and putting that, almost 2.5 second gap on you?
I'm not really sure what I mean. Obviously, I must have changed something in how I was driving the car, and it might have just been, I'm not entirely sure, but I was struggling on the tires. It felt like a lot more near the end than I was in the first, and I ran longer in the first part of stage 3. So, but my tires at the end just didn't feel good. I was really struggling in 3 and 4, getting tight on the exit of 2, and at that point I kind of knew I was like, I'm not going to catch Corey. Let me just make sure that Melton doesn't get to my bumper. Just to, like I said, keep points. But yeah, I mean, if I would have known they would have fallen off, well, I knew they were going to fall off. But I don't know where Corey got it from. I don't know why I fell off so hard, but obviously he had something that I didn't, and it paid off a lot for him.
And of course, man, before we let you enjoy the rest of your night, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody?
Once again, because they'll yell at me if I don't drop names. Amy Lax, Troy Lax, everyone who has to listen to me talk in these interviews. Obviously, you for streaming the race. Hopefully, by the time I get back down there, they're cooled off a little bit. We'll figure it out. But Mason Swanberg, obviously he was Nicholas Wills in here, but for stepping into the 12, letting me kind of teach him the truck a little bit. Being open to that. So all them. And yeah.
You better not forget Lucas's parents.
Oh yeah. I forget, does he want to name drop Mr. and Mrs. Lucas Lewis? Lucas doesn't get a shout out because Lucas sucks. But yeah.
Well, of course, congrats on on the top 3 finish tonight, finishing in second. Hopefully this kind of your momentum from tonight with the second place finish carries over for tomorrow. I feel like it's going to be pretty hectic tomorrow with having to return and do it all over again, but with the outcome of tonight, it's going to add a big advantage to some and a disadvantage to others.
Well, I mean, that'll be the 3rd night in a row I'm running Kansas, so I'm ready to leave after
Good
tomorrow.
Lord. Yeah, you're hoping to fly out and never fly back in.
Yeah. Ran NIS lap trucks tonight and Cup tomorrow, so I'll be run over like 500 laps over the next 3 days. So
good Lord,
I'm ready.
I mean, it paid off tonight with the second place. Hopefully tomorrow it pays off with a win.
We shall see.
All right, man. We hope you have a good one, and look forward to possibly talking to you tomorrow too.
I'll try, but yeah, hopefully you're doing well, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.
Have a good one, Owen.
And that was your second place finisher, since we didn't get Melton in the booth, which means we're going to have one more interview for the night before we wrap it on up and head on back to the hotel rooms before we got to do it all over again tomorrow here in Kansas. That being from your race winner himself, the number 4 of Corey Rainey.
Yeah, what's happening?
You tell me, man. I mean, what a hell of a stage one finish, dude. How did you make it 50 laps with a one tank of gas?
51 laps because I crossed start finish at 51. Man, to be honest, I didn't really think I was going to be able to save that much. I knew word was you could save and make it the first stage or the second stage. I didn't know which one they were saying, so I was like, you know what? I started the race and I had 44 in the tank. We went green and like I crossed the green. I crossed the for the checker flag of the stage, man, and it was 0-0. So I didn't expect them to come back around so fast. I figured I had like another lap or two I could save, but once I saw the 83 coming, I just had to step on it. And luckily, I saved just enough to cross the start finish. But once I crossed the start finish, I had to shut the engine off, and I had just coasted. And that's why y'all saw me so far ahead of everybody because I didn't. It was everything was on 0-0. Like I had no pressure. Like I had yellow lights flashing in the car. Like, but once I got to pit road, I was able to have just enough juice to get to my stall. But I let everybody know, like, yo, I'm out of fuel. Y'all got to go around me. So
Now, this is your second win as a part-time driver here in the truck series. Do you feel like, this is maybe a week where you'll be able to have the advantage leading over to the cup cars?
I wouldn't necessarily say advantage because, like has been advertised, we are switching to a different package this week. Yeah, it's still an unknown to me. I know for sure there's a Ford meeting tomorrow, and we're going to go over notes and go over things and try to figure out how we all can attack this track correctly and all get the best finishes we can. Um, I mean, it worked out for us at Vegas. We were there at the end in the Cup race, so I mean, it's somewhat been transferring over. But I mean, you still got to battle Owen. You still got to battle Mark, JJ, Hollinsworth, Pena. Like, there's guys that are still gonna be there tomorrow that you got to battle. So it's not necessarily a advantage, but I mean, I kind of have a head start if you can technically track wise, different car. So we'll see.
And now, as you were saying, where we are trying a different, package here, moving to the 750 horsepower at the intermediate and short tracks. What's your take on the situation?
I mean, what are we? Race six? This race six or race seven? I can't remember.
I believe we are at race 6.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it's best to do it now instead of middle of the season or at the end of the season. I mean, we do get a few extra hour of practice, so I mean, I guess it's kind of beneficial. I didn't know. I need to look at Discord more often. I didn't know there was a practice the other day with it. I wish I could have been there, but like I said, all the Ford guys are getting together before the race tomorrow. We're gonna go over notes. I'll let them know how the track was last night or tonight. Um, but yeah, I did. I mean, in that race, I mean, that's why I give kudos to Owen. That's why he's a championship driver because once he got in front of me, I couldn't do anything. Like it's like I was running into a brick wall and I couldn't get past him. And riding behind him, I learned so much information. And so whenever I pitted after he did, I knew I had to get in front of him and do exactly what he was doing to me, which was, taking the air from his car. And it kind of worked out for us. And once he got into the wall there, I was like, okay, we might have a chance here. And then Mark kept bouncing in and out the chat and hyping me up. But yeah, we just gotta see, man. Like I said, tomorrow's gonna be a very big unknown, so we just gotta be prepared for anything.
Of course, only being a part-time competitor here tonight, you are battling for wins, or unfortunate not for points.
But do you have, any goals that, you want to kind of accomplish here for your part-time run in the truck series?
Like I was talking to Charlie before you dragged me into the booth. It's just practice, extra time on the track, trying to learn things. Some of these tracks we go to 2 times a year, so I kind of get an advantage running the trucks at the track. That means I get to run the track 4 times a year compared to two, like the rest of the Cup drivers that's not in the truck series. So eventually it'll benefit out. I mean, as you saw in Vegas, we were pretty strong in Vegas, and we was right there into the last lap. So hopefully we'll be able to transfer it over tomorrow night, and hopefully all my cars are there tomorrow because I've been missing them so much.
And of course, man, before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your night, you have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Man, shout out to the team, man. They was bouncing in and out, keeping cheering me on. Shout out to my girl Candace for watching. She always tunes into it. Shout out to the fans for hanging out and watching us tonight. I hope we put on a great show for y'all. Shout out Owen, man. It's always fun racing with you, man. That's why like I said, that's why you're a champ. I learned a lot from you tonight. I mean, most people wouldn't be able to say something like that, but I'm not ashamed to admit I learned a lot from him tonight. Even though he said he wasn't the fastest truck, he did have the best line, and I give him that. Like he did have the best line, and I learned so much from him tonight. And shout out to the booth, man. You and Fate, you guys are doing a great job as always, man. I love tuning into y'all and ready for tomorrow.
Well, of course, man, congratulations on the second win in the truck series. Now, moving forward to tomorrow night, hopefully things pan out the same way for you. Of course, it's going to be a Gen 6 car with a different package, so that is going to be a little bit difficult to maneuver around. But still praying and waiting for that first victory in the Cup Series.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll come. Like I said, it's all about consistency, man, and we've been consistent all year. So the wins will come, but right now it's just mainly being consistent and just being there when we need to be there.
All right, Trevor. Well, hopefully we're talking to you tomorrow, and if not, we hope you have a good night, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks again, guys.
You have a good one.
Yes, sir.
That was your winner of tonight's race, the Season 2 champion in the Cup Series, Corey Rainey. What a hell of a race.
I will agree with you there, partner. That was a beautiful display of some good racing, some rather clean racing. Pretty much every incident that I feel like we saw there was just either a personal mistake that somebody had made or just kind of racing incidents that just happen in the course of what happens in a race. By far, one of the cleanest races we've seen.
I mean, not much incidents, that were kind of egregious there at the end of the day. Of course, it's going to happen. Wrecks are always going to happen. Looking at the recap now, we had 28 lead changes by the checkered flag, only 5 cautions for 14 laps. 2 of those were stage breaks. So, not many laps under pacing at 14 total, including the stage breaks. Of course, your leader, Rainey, is your winner here tonight. Owen Lax finishing in a very close second after a hard-fought battle. The end of the night, Chris Melton finishing in third with Lucas Lewis in fourth and Cole Darcy in 5th place. Of course, tonight's coverage officially has concluded as all drivers are packed up and the trucks are on the road back on home to Charlotte, North Carolina as we get ready for the Gen 6 Cup cars tomorrow here. A lot of drivers having to get ready and change for a different package. 750 horsepower being debuted tomorrow night as a prototype run after testing has went on in the off week. So it is going to be a very difficult challenge for most of these drivers now, as
They're going to have to change possibly the style of driving and the style of racing. But of course, we will find all of that out tomorrow here when we come back live for the Naris Cup Series. 8:45 for your green flag coverage will begin at about 8:30. Of course, it has been a wonderful night, and I would never wanted to spend it anywhere else here on the Asphalt Racing Network. And on behalf of the Fisher Studios Truck Series, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, whether that was live or the replay. And we definitely look to seeing you guys tomorrow night. Of course, Kenny, appreciate you joining me back up here for another week, and definitely look forward to seeing you tomorrow night too.
And everybody have a great night. You have a wonderful night, Tyler. And I hope for tomorrow to be just as good of a race and even more fun to be had.
Now, as always, we are going to leave you guys with a white flag lap. They let Corey Rainey take his second win as a part-time driver here tonight. We will all catch you tomorrow. If not, we will catch you at a later date. Everybody have a good night.